It's fantastic. But, you know, nothing but good play coming up. Akashi and Bagel. I mean, these two have been around for a long time, but somehow still improving, somehow still getting further and further. Both have had fantastic runs over the last year, but both of them find themselves in losers' side or in losers' sevenths, eighths, whatever you will. We're gonna have to see who comes out on top. I believe the last time these two played, Bagel did beat Akashi. Now this is traditionally a matchup that Absa does really well in, so we're gonna have to see if Akashi's been working on any counterplay, working on cleaning things up a little bit. Right now it's still close for game number 1.
Yeah, I believe that time was at Genesis 9 was the last time these two played. So Bagel typically just holding to his guns and trying to figure out more and more within the range of how Edelus operates, despite what any sort of tier lists or whatever goes on may say. The Bears proving his own tournament viability and calling out the parry with the slightly delayed forward air, blowing Akashi up for it with that first stock.
Yeah, I mean, Akashi put in so much work, edge canceling the parry stun off the cloud pop just to get punched in the face by Edelus. And I mean, Absid doesn't struggle too much with closing these stocks out. You have a bunch of aerials that are worked. You have tilt confirmed. Thunderline, if it connects, will get the job done. But again, we see that wall jump aerial get parried. And so now that, that close game that we had has completely flipped on its head. And Bagel is looking like in prime position for a 3-stock if he can keep this armor.
That's been one of Akashi's Achilles heel kind of mix-ups. He's very often uses the Thunderline off stage. Very often tries to come back on and attack from off stage aggressively, leaving themselves super open to a lot of parries like we just saw. 200, the Thunder falling straight into the Thunderline for that first stock being taken. We are so far behind the 8-ball here.
Yeah, I mean, Bagel was trying to just stall in the air to get away from the Thunderline, but Edelus is a big boy, no escaping that one. But again, it's like Akashi's at 94. There is just raw fair. That's all you need.
Chase down fair off of a full hop nair. Just the amount of space that Edelus can cover is quite ridiculous, but that's the trade-off. Yeah, you're a big body that's going to be hit by all of these sweet spots. All of these fringe combos are going to work more often on you. So by trading off, you get some big hitboxes that do quite a bit of damage. Bagel making the most out of every single one of these, especially with just the amount of fair that he has been using on every opportunity.
And speaking about that fair, that's one of the big things Bagel's gotten a lot better at over the last year or so, is using the armor from that fair so effectively. Like, this man has optimized fair armor to an extent we haven't seen in a very long time from Edelus players. So that's been like one of the key points that's allowed him to just take this character to the next level. And we see like another small lead, but still a lead nonetheless here in game number 2.
Don't make it another 3-0. Come on. Both these two going back and forth right now. First stock seems to always be such a massive difference maker in matchups like these, where you have explosive character against a much more control style of offense when Edelus against Absa. But it is Akashi that's going to be striking first, catching the higher recovery with a sweet spot fair. And that Dacus isn't going to hit once again for Bagel.
Yeah, I mean, we see what Bagel wants right now. So the onus is on Akashi, don't put yourself in a position to get forward air. That's exactly, Bagel's win condition right now. Treetop is going to mean Akashi survives, but you see how close that was. And if it wasn't for the stage, Akashi would be gone right now. Yep, there it is. The armor coming through for Bagel, closing things out, and 50%, not great, but not terrible when you're a character this heavy.
Yeah, not in the least. Looking for more of that fair armor coming down, but getting caught by the anti-air instead. Bagel kind of really focusing on patrolling the ground for, when it comes to his neutral, and looking to pressure from that type of position, and Akashi just keeps meeting him head on.
Oh, there was so much mix that happened off screen there, because you have to avoid the up B from Bagel. You have to avoid the icicles. You have to make it back to the wall in the first place. Like, Akashi just got overwhelmed there, but we're one stock apiece here in the second game. Despite all of the craziness, it's still so close, but now Bagel's slowly starting to take the lead. Oh god. Oh god, it's accelerating! No slowness whatsoever. That's a fast pair jumping all the way off stage, and again that forward air closing out game number 2.
It just keeps on pushing, and it's kind of the inversion of the mix that you were referring to earlier, Bio, in game number 2. Akashi went low and immediately had to contest with the up B spike plus icicles plus whatever else Bagel was doing down there. Akashi logically says, I want to avoid that situation, and still loses his stock for it.
Yeah, it's like, alright, I'll go high now. Wait, Atlas can just jump here.
Oh, I'm still dead.
Fighting games.
Fighting games.
And so yeah, the question is adaptation on Akashi's, from Akashi's perspective, because again, that forward air has been such a crucial part of Bagel's game plan. As well, something that I really want to see is, Akashi shutting Bagel down before it gets the opportunity to put down a lot of ice. Because once Atlas has ice on the ground, the floor is lava, while also being ice at the same time. Like, it is a no-go zone for you. And right now, we just see this pressure from Akashi has been fantastic in the third game, not giving Bagel a chance to get anything set up.
That's the type of stuff that you would that I'm more used to seeing when it comes to a matchup like this. Like, Absa can extend her range so far as the Dacus closes out the stock there, dash attack into up strong. But Akashi has been shown a little bit more bravery and a little bit more of a familiar territory for him. Let's see if that pays off for the rest of this stock. Bagel's just trying to explode right now.
Bagel is very confident going for these off-stage hit cards. I mean, you got no uppy, but just throw it in there on the way out. One last little love tap.
Very early Thunder Lunge, but working off for a huge combo here from Akashi.
God.
And okay.
Okay. All right. I mean, go next. GG's.
Yeah, go next type of game. But hey, we got a game 4. Let's go.
It was just like 4 nairs into. You know what? I'm not feeling this. I'm not rocking with this game anymore. Rockwall. I mean, speaking of, a much better stage here, especially if you're going for those bears again, because like the side blast zone is right there, and look at that. Look at how close that was. You DI out at 40, and you are at risk from on stage. And okay, no connection with the Dacus. It's not an awful stage for Absa if you're able to connect with your, fairer bears, but I mean, look at how much Atlas is able to get off of that.
Feels like Akashi's just on the back foot. Like, one of the biggest differences of that game number 3 was Akashi immediately from the word go, like, throwing out a forward tilt, having spatial coverage, putting Bagel off stage, landing a lot of these hits because they'd set up a position for them to do so. Go into game number 4, the script is completely flipped.
Yeah, and the ice is such a big thing as well. Like, you see Akashi just hovering around Bagel's ice, and you can't do that in the Atlas matchup. If Atlas gets ice on the ground and he's in position, you have to get him away from that, because there's so much mobility that he has once he's down there. And, I mean, re-armors up, got another 40% in you. This could be, just a raw down beyond the platform is enough as well. So now it's a 2-stock lead for Bagel. And like you said, this has just been Akashi struggling to catch up, still standing on top of that ice. You can't do it. But the turnaround down tilt somehow finding the backside of Atlas's hurt box, closing out the first stock.
Wave dash back on that ice after a dash attack. You're covering so much space as this giant body without any commitment.
Huge.
But that's a massive play there from Akashi, able to find the right position on a slight overextension from Bagel. All you have to do is get out of this advantage state, but Bagel's not letting you go.
Not letting you go at all. And yeah, I really... It's one of the most crucial parts of the Atlas matchup,